So here we go, starting on the passenger side. So this is going to be rust repairs, and I'm going to start with this wheel arch right here. Now we've fixed the other side up, it's still not finished. I've still got to rough things in and make it look nice and smooth and a bit more symmetrical than what it is, but it's in there. But this one here isn't going to be as bad. So rather than cutting out the whole thing and making a whole new lip like I did on the other side, I'm going to tackle this side in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. So this one will just be that lip, because most of this is intact. So especially these parts here, that's all still salvageable. This one isn't. I'm talking about the lip here. That one's got to be replaced, including this part. But it's going to be much easier and much more manageable if I do it in pieces. I couldn't do this on the other side because the other side was just crushed. It was completely crushed and rusted at the same time, so that there really was nothing to work with. So here we go. Let's tackle the main one first, which is this one here. So I'm not going to cut this face away because that's pretty good. So I'm going to cut it from in here across there and just cut all this section here out. And but before I do that, I'm going to press this up against there and roll that shape into this metal before I cut this away. So here we go. I'm trying to do this with one hand, of course. I'm just going to slowly press this in. Whoop. Okay, I'm going to need 2 hands. Just bear with me a second. Okay, so I couldn't get that to work with a press because it was, as you can see, this metal's eaten away and it's very fragile, and it was just bending this actual metal and not doing what I wanted it to do. So I'm back to my block of wood with that little concave groove in it, and it's in a vise here like this, and I'll just use the vise as my press. Alright, see, looks like it's taking shape. And there we go. So I'll use it's not perfectly level, I might have to put it back in and do this corner here. Alright, let's just see how this fits on there. Well, it looks like this area here is too big an area to make for one piece, because the metal's got to stretch over quite an area there in a curve shape. So I'm going to have to make this in 2 pieces. I think that's going to be the easiest way. This one will be okay, and possibly this one will have to be 2 pieces as well. So I'll have to cut this piece in half, I'd say, to get that to fit on there nicely. Right, so I've got all my pieces made up. There's 4 of them, 4 with curves. So what I might actually do is start right here, start with this one. And that way, if I do one at a time, I can make sure that it flows from the new metal into what's left of the old metal. So that basically I'm not getting steps as I go along, if you know what I mean. So, yep, I'll make this the first cut. The whole area with my sander here with 40 grit, and I've just sprayed some rust inhibitor in there. So yeah, like I said, I'll do one piece at a time and get it to flow the whole way along. Alright, so I've got primer on the back of it, and here we go, so it went like that. So let me just get that in position. So first patch is tacked in, just making very careful that it's new pieces flush with the old metal, so there's no big steps in there. That's feeling pretty good. So I'll just carefully go along and finish this off, Then I'll move to the next piece. I think this is going to be the best way to do it, just do one piece at a time, so I can keep the flow with the original metal going. Otherwise, if I cut it all out now, I'll lose track of where everything went. So that's the first piece completely tacked in. So this may even be a candidate for using some of that solder for those little pinholes. I mean, I'll put some more weld in there and fill up those bigger holes. But the little pinholes, that's probably a good place to do that soldering. So that's just about there, just about all filled in. So a bit more sanding in there and then body filler will take care of the rest. But that's gotten in pretty nice. Just got to get a bit more shape to this top part of the lip here. That's coming along pretty well. So this is starting to take shape. It's going to need another going over with body filler to fill in some of those little crevices in there, like in there, and just smooth it all out and get it all symmetrical. And doing this, I'm just rolling some 80 grit just in a half circle like that, just so I can get in there and get the approximate shape. And the idea, of course, is to get it nice and even. So preparing to put this section here of the quarter panel in. Now what I did is I obviously, as you can see, I tech screwed it first up the top here, and then used the end of this jack handle just to roll that shape in there. And once I got that started, I used a rubber mallet and just beat the top of this down to press it against the car. And just to finish it off, then I tech screwed the bottom. And then just did that the whole way along to get that line. So it's almost there, just got to get that down a bit more. And that side's almost there as well, just got to get that to come in a bit further. And then cut it out, cut the shape out. So just like the other side, you can see there's a reinforcement bracket that comes up here behind the skin of the car, and it's rotted out at the top. So I'm just going to cut it across here, just replace this piece here, fix all that up, clean all this up inside here as best I can, and another piece of rotted out metal here. So do that. Yeah, I might do this first, fix this one first, then this one, and then close all this up. Get it all deep in there. Now it's obviously a support brace, I think, because this is the wheel well right here. So it's just a support brace, keeping the this part steady with the roof, the side of the roof by the looks of it, because it doesn't continue all the way up inside there, it just literally stops here. Now sometimes it's actually easier making these bigger panels, patch panels like this, even quarter panels, than doing this sort of stuff, because it's just a lot of intricate work, all these different angles and shapes you've got to put in there. So the piece that I had cut out for going down here, I've had to cut it. I'm going to do it in two, possibly three pieces. Actually, it will be three pieces, because there's a step that comes, it follows this. That's a step there that continues up here, and then it shallows out and flattens out against this section. And I've got to cut this little piece out as well and replace that. So this sort of stuff takes time. So I've decided to fix this first before fixing this this brace. So this corner's all slowly coming together. I've had to make it in several pieces, more little intricate little pieces like in there. And this is the final part, which will close it off in there, something like that. So when I compare that to the other side, so this is the passenger side, or driver side, sorry. So this side was all intact. So you can see it doesn't really come to a fine point, but it's like a smooth point up the top there. So that's what I've got to replicate over the other side. So there it is. I'm going to consider that done. It's not the they're not the prettiest worlds in the world, but who cares? You're not going to see this once this is all sealed up. Main thing is it's in nice and solid. So I'll hit this with some primer, and then put my patches over the top and close this up. Alright, so I'm just about ready to put this patch on, and what I'm going to have to do when I get this one on is I'll have to tack it in from the back here, get that on first, and then work my way around here and get it to join onto the rest. progress for the end of the week. So this is just the first layer of body filler on there. As you can see, there's still some spots that need to be filled in, so I've got to put another layer over this and go over it again. But it's feeling pretty good. So I'm just going to coat this now in some prime so it doesn't rust over the weekend. And I'll continue it again next week.
Tell me what you